And we're live. Welcome, guys. Tonight we are going to be speaking to one of my good friends, Woodrow Haynes. What's going on, Woody?
Nothing much, brother. You all right?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So Woodrow is a ADT representative, and we're going to talk about the importance of having a home security system. Um, Really, not only if you currently own a home, I personally think it's important to have one if you rent a home. But we'll talk to Woodrow about it. Ask any questions pertaining to it. And if you guys have any questions pertaining to security systems, how important they are, basic pricing, because everything's going to be different, definitely drop them in the chat and we can discuss it. So, Woody, tell me a little bit about what you do, brother.
Hey, Kevin. So, my name, like you said, my name is Woodrow Haynes. I'm a solutions advisor. So, my goal is to basically be a resource for my customers, train them on the need for a security system, and the ins and out. So, basically, my job is to talk to you, create and design a plan that's specific to your needs because let's face it, everybody's needs are different, and I can just give you my expert opinion on how what I think would work best, and then we would go from there. I've been with ADT now going on 3 years, and I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about it. We met. God, when did we meet, Kevin? It had to be about 4 years or more.
Yeah, it's about four. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been about 4 years or so.
When we realized we both had the same haircut. But
Yep.
anyhow,
So,
yeah. So, but yeah, man, and I love it. But it's just like any other business, ins and outs. But I love being able to help people at the end of the day.
got you.
Hmm.
Got you.
Hmm.
So, when people hear security system, all I feel like they hear another bill.
Hmm.
Like, what's the cost of a security system?
So, like I said before, it's based on your needs, but the main thing is you have monitoring for your alarm system, and it's based on either you have a simple system that's just an alarm, or if you add on cameras and which cameras you have. So we have anywhere from wireless cameras to hardwired cameras. And and another thing I told you also, that's the amount of that you pay each month is based on if you do a hardwired system, professionally installed, or a DIY system.
Got you.
Hmm.
So, in terms of the basic the basic system that you have, what does that cover? Like, how many rooms does it cover, windows, and all that good stuff?
So a basic system is a panel, sensors on three doors, and a motion. And we say three doors because most people have front door, back door, and most homes nowadays a garage door, and then a motion sensor inside the house. Yeah.
Got you.
And then we can kind of build on that.
So, how elaborate can you get?
Oh man, listen, this thing here, this thing here, you can do anything and everything from this right here. And what I mean by that, we can set up when you walk in the door that you cut off your alarm, check all your cameras, cut the lights on in your house, make sure the thermostat is set on the right temperature. Anything and everything that's pertaining to your house, we can do if it can connect to a phone.
Got you.
Hmm.
What are some benefits to having the security system?
You know what? My biggest thing is peace of mind. Me and you both work what on an average 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
You work from home some majority of the time, but say I'm not at home these 16 hours a day. I don't want to have to be worried about what's going on in my house while I'm out working. So a security system will help with that. If the door is open, you get an alert to your phone. A smoke detector goes off, you get an alert to your phone. Somebody comes by the cameras we have outside, you get an alert to your phone. So the way what I see is peace of mind. That's what I consider a peace of mind. Protecting what matters most to you. You see, I say that a lot. It's protecting what matters most to you. And this is not
Uh,
just done with residential. This is done with commercial as well. small business.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
What what are there any savings benefits for having a system and a security
Great,
system in your
great,
home?
great question. A lot of people don't realize that if you have any kind of security system, that you can take anywhere from 7 to 10% off your homeowner's insurance just for having that system.
That's major.
It is.
Is the, is there any type of benefit for having a security system in a rental? Like if you rent and you have, let's say you have renter's insurance. Do you know about that?
Right. Insurance is insurance. As long as you can send them an itemized list of what was installed, they will take a percentage off your monthly bill.
Got you.
Hmm.
And so what if I get a system and I'm currently renting, right?
Hmm.
And after let's say a year being in that rental, I end up purchasing a home. Am
Hmm.
I able to take that equipment with me, or does it stay in the house that I was in?
You can, okay. So we would suggest you leaving it. That way, whomever comes in has the opportunity to access it and have a system in their house and don't have to install anything else. But we will reload to your new location and install a new system in that home.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
But
that makes
but now that's it's two scenarios because that's for pro install. If you did a DIY system, you can actually say, "Hey, Woodrow, I'm moving such and such. Could you change the address?" And you can take that system with you.
which one is better, DIY or the hardwire?
Honestly, everybody is not a DIYer. So if you feel comfortable doing DIY, that's a good thing. But I really feel professional install is the way to go because it's just that a trained, certified ADT technician comes out, installs your system, explains all the ins and outs of the system to you. That way, if you have any issues, it's covered.
Wow. So what I know we get people who listen from all over the United States. What states do you have access to?
We can serve anywhere in the United States.
Okay. Alaska?
We can serve anywhere in the United States. But you're trying to put me on the spot. I'll check on that now. Anywhere in the US. Anywhere in the
Okay.
US. Mhm.
Got you. So in terms of so for me, man, like we when we initially moved in, well, we had Ring,
Mhm.
right? And from experience, like when I'm looking to refer people to you, a
Mhm.
lot of them are like, "Oh, we're gonna get Ring."
Mhm.
What's the difference between having a Ring camera and camera, like the doorbell camera and the other cameras, versus a ADT system?
So it's a couple differences. Professional install. This is not something that you're going in and trying to install yourself. And if you mess up something, you got to get in touch with somebody with Ring. Good luck with that. Then also, how can I word this? People kind of how can you put a limit on your protection? People say, okay, I saw this in Walmart. Oh, this is all I need. But what about your window sensors? What about your smoke detectors? If you're living in a heavy flood area, what about the water sensors? There's so many different aspects to actually full protection of your home or your business.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
I know when we were away and our alarm system went off, and we got a call from the monitoring service about our alarm going off. And I think at that time we had it was when it was a couple years ago when we had a real bad, like real heavy winds,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
an alarm system went off, and the police went through. They checked. They said they didn't see anything or see anybody, and we didn't see anybody on our camera. But just the fact that we were in Florida and our alarm system went off. We was like, okay, this is what we do. We know we're not close. Let's call the police. Like that did give us a sense of security
Mhm.
because we were so far away. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Right. And that goes back to the benefit of being monitored. A lot of people say, oh, when they hear monitoring, oh, why would I have to pay this? You're paying for a service. For ADT to monitor your system, and if anything goes off, they're contacting you. And if they can't reach you, they automatically contact the police department. Because what if a smoke sensor goes off and you're actually in the house? That's the purpose of the monitoring, to monitor your house or business to protect you. Now, a lot of it is just like early detection. Like I just said, if smoke detector go off and you don't hear it, you work the 16 hours that you normally work, Kevin, and you just dog tired and you don't hear it go off, even though you should, but stuff happens. Okay, I've had a customer that put in the wrong code, Kevin, and or when they got alert, they gave them the wrong code. The lady on the line said, "Okay, thank you." The ADT is trained to where if you give them the wrong code or password, they're sending a police officer out there automatically. So the next thing she knows, 5 minutes later, there was a police officer knocking at the door.
Yeah, I remember I had an encounter like that. One of my friend's mom parents, they asked me to go to the house to do something for them because their
Mhm.
son was gone. And I went in the house and the alarm system was on. I was freaking out. I was like, oh shoot.
Mhm.
The police came quickly, and just so happened I had just got off the phone with his mom, and she gave me the code to the house.
Mhm.
Luckily, nothing happened. But like, still, like, for them, to like the police to come that quickly, because obviously they didn't get a hold of my friend's mom
Right.
because she would have probably either called me or her son to say, hey, what's going on. But
Mhm.
just those things being monitored. And I think like for us, we have the Ring doorbell and we
Mhm.
got Ring cameras.
Mhm. I'm not
So
gonna
we
hold
can
it
still
against you. I'm not gonna
see,
hold it against you.
we can see what's going on, but we also have a monitor system.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean,
Yeah.
peace of mind. I say it a lot. Peace of mind. We work too hard. And even if you're not working hard, you're living. This is a busy time. This is a really busy time. For years now, we are all trying to do. We're on the go. We're on the go. Whether it's our job, whether it's our children, whether it's our church, whatever it is, we're always on the go. So this protecting your home or business should be the last thing you have to worry about.
Right, right. Is there any tips or anything that you can tell our viewers to do if they're skeptical about even getting an alarm system for their rental that they live in or their new home that they're about to buy?
First of all, call me.
His
Because
information will be below. His information, contact information will be below down in the description after the video.
yeah. But just do your due diligence. Just do your due diligence. Ask questions. But like I said, I'll ask questions. I'll answer questions if you're in Florida. Doesn't matter. But this, people keep a lot of people think about it as okay, I'm just buying this to, it's an extra bill, this and that. This is peace of mind. This is something that is a benefit to you, whether it's your discount on your homeowner's insurance, not having to worry about if my children are secure when I leave and go to work at night, being able to protect my property. I mean, we have to pay for car insurance every day, every month. Security should be as normal as paying for your car insurance. It's a necessity. Some form or fashion, you need some type of security.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Cool. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, I appreciate you jumping on with me.
Yes, sir.
Again, my guy Woodrow Haynes.
Yes,
His
sir.
contact information will be below. Contact him if you have any questions pertaining to I guess that homeowners insurance. to contact Woodrow if you got any questions pertaining to home security systems. Woody, man, I appreciate you,
Man,
brother. And
I appreciate you having me, Doc.
no problem, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Well, hey guys, we just had a conversation with a home security expert, Woodrow Haynes. Great guy, very knowledgeable. Definitely can help you with your questions pertaining to home security systems. You know, he went over the benefits of having a home security system. You know, some people look at it as a bill. However, it's not it's not an extra bill. It's safety, and it helps protect you. You know, you also get a discount with homeowners insurance as well, you know, in terms of having a security system. So just to kind of go over it, a ring system does not, it's not monitored, so you don't get that same discount on on your home's homeowners insurance as you would with your monitored security system. If you have any questions pertaining to home ownership, I'm here to answer your questions tonight. If you have any, you know, any concerns about refinancing, if you got questions about the market, we can go over it. We can discuss it. I'm here for you tonight. I did want. Let's definitely reset the room. So of course, I'm Kevin Jefferson, the People's Lender, and we discussed the importance of protecting your home as well as your assets. You know, a peace of mind. You know, protecting your home, monitoring things to make sure no one breaks in, your family's fine, checking the surroundings of your home where you're away. We definitely spoke about that. We also have an amazing Facebook group. Uh, the link to join our Facebook group will be below, as well as our newsletter that we send out 2 or 3 times a week. Just depends on what we have going on. In the newsletter, for subscribing to the newsletter, you'll receive a free home buyer's guide. Along with that free home buyer's guide, it will give you step-by-step tips on how to go along in your journey on home ownership, as well as getting weekly or, you know, sometimes twice a week, getting information about the YouTube channel, videos we've posted, information that we've learned about, or videos that are coming up, such as, you know, when we're going live and when we're not, you know, when we're going live or when we've posted a video. So definitely drop your questions below if you have any pertaining to home ownership. I do want to discuss a few things. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. So we actually, um, you know, tomorrow is the changing of the guard. So we have a new housing. We have a new president coming into how in the house, and we will see what happens with the housing market pertaining to the changes in the new administration. A lot of people think that the market will automatically get better. However, I think over the course of time, we will potentially see adjustments, but that's with any type of presidency or anything like that. So, currently we've been seeing interest rates rise. They're continuing to rise. Home ownership, housing prices have dropped in certain portions of the country. And last week we did a live, and we were just discussing, the importance of preparing for home ownership, getting ready for home ownership. Are you ready to become a homeowner? There was a video that went out today where I posted on Instagram. A young man, he's a realtor in the DC area, and he had posted about people discussing how, the value of houses, how they wouldn't pay that much for a house, but at the same time, it doesn't go off. He said it doesn't go off of feelings, and it doesn't go off of how you feel, how much a house is worth. Um, Housing market actually goes off of data that's put together to tell us, hey, this is what 123 Main Street is worth, and we get a certified professional to give us the value on that. Typically, those people that are discussing things like that, speaking negativity about the housing market, probably either had a bad experience or just don't feel like they'll never be able to own a home, so they don't want anybody else to. So, I'm here to encourage you. If you're looking to purchase a home, yes, the market is the market. It's our new normal, right? Until something drastic happens and prices drop or interest rates drop, it's the new normal. Does that mean you shouldn't purchase a home? No, that I don't think that doesn't mean you shouldn't purchase a home, but you do want to prepare. Whether you're looking to prepare in the next 6 months, the next 12 months, you definitely should prepare for home ownership. And that's why I'm here to educate, to guide you on the path to home ownership. If you have any questions pertaining to purchasing a home, if you have questions about currently being under contract, if you have questions about what you can do to prepare for a home, if you currently own a home and you want to know, hey, is it a good time to refinance? I'm here to answer all your questions for you. We also have, um, I've also written a home buyers journal. So my home buyers journal is for home buyers who are looking, well, for anyone, right? It's for you to go through your journey of home ownership. It has information about budgeting, questions to ask your realtor, questions to ask your lender. And then while you're in the process, it has notes you can take about the process. When you're having a session with a realtor or a lender and you want to make sure you take notes about what they're telling you, there's a section in here about that. Now, once you're in the process of finding a home, then there's also different things in here. Like we have a wish list of things that you want in your home. We have housing specs on houses that you've taken a look at. So the link to purchase this book will be below. It's currently 1988. I think it's well worth the money. I spent a lot of time preparing this through the mind of a person who purchased a home before, and then through the mind of someone who sold homes before and financed homes before. And with my experience, I figured that the information is here are things that you would need or want. And I also asked a few of my clients, if I was to create a home buyer's journal, what would be something that they would like to see inside of it that would be helpful for them along in the process. I also have written a book on student loan debt, no problem, how to successfully secure a mortgage with student loan debt. There's, I think, 1.6 trillion people. Excuse me, 42.2 million people with student loan debt, equaling $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. And I've come across hundreds and hundreds of people who've had student loan debt and they felt like they couldn't purchase because of the amount of student loan that they have had, and I've been able to help hundreds of people who have had student loan debt, and we were still able to help them to obtain a home, whether it was their loans, whether it was Parent Plus loans, uh, whether it was 20 years ago, or if they were currently in school. I've been able to help people purchase a home with student loan debt, and I would love to help you as well. The link for this book will also be below as well. This book is currently 24.88, and I think it walks you through the process of how to prepare your student loan so that it doesn't affect you as badly as you would think it would when you're going through the process of purchasing a home. So you can read the link for both of these books will be below. Definitely check it out, and in advance, I thank you for your support. Um, so a few other things. Like right now, we're seeing um, our brothers and sisters over in California. They are currently going through a lot with the wildfires. So one thing that I've been echoing um, to people is definitely, if you currently own a home and you're listening, check on your coverages. Make sure you have enough coverage. Make sure you have the right coverage. Uh, Make sure you have the coverage that, when I say the right coverage, not only the right coverage to replace your home, the right coverage to replace your valuables in your home. Get appraisals on things. Get appraisal on your wife's ring. Get appraisal on your husband's ring. If you have a jewelry collection, get an appraisal on your jewelry. Get an appraisal on your gun collection. If you got a baseball card collection, get an appraisal on that. Anything of value, get an appraisal on it. And you want to make sure that you let your insurance agency know, hey, I have a gun collection worth $10,000. I'd like to get them insured. Or I have a jewelry collection worth $30,000. I'd like to make sure that's insured and covered and see what that's like. And if you own a home for multiple years, I think at least once a year, you need to reach out to your insurance agent and find out what your coverage is, as well as figuring out if you need to increase your coverage. So as soon as people say, as soon as you hear I've got to increase my coverage, the first thing people hear is, oh, my insurance bill is going to go up. But you want to make sure you cover that because you don't want to be too late. You don't want it to be too late. You don't have enough coverage and you can no longer build your home back to where you wanted it to be. We have a question. Buying a home is scary because the price is day, but me and my wife are making a leap. Can you pay taxes and insurance outside of escrow? So that's a great question, I am Rel. Um, the answer is yes and no. So with certain loans, they won't allow you. FHA, VA, USDA won't. They won't allow you to do it. Um, Conventional financing will. However, you have to get an approval. And one of the things is you have to put $20,000. Excuse me. You have to put 20% down in order to even be considered to pay escrows outside of close. I mean outside of your mortgage payment. And I'll explain to you why. So let's say you're looking to purchase a $400,000 house, and you're going. Let's say you go FHA, well, it's conventional. So on a conventional home, you're looking at $12,000 down payment if you're going with 3%. And you said, well, $12,000 is a lot of money, and it is. But the bank or mortgage company is bringing $388,000 to the table, and what they want is insurance that you are, in fact, you know, covered, because they want to make sure the insurance is being paid. They want to make sure the taxes are being paid. And no matter how good you are with money, there's still things that happen. For me, even as a lender, I still pay my escrows and my mortgage payment because every month a twelfth or whatever I owe goes to escrows. And when my tax bill comes, my mortgage company pays that to the tax, to the county for taxes. When my homeowner's insurance is due, they pay for the homeowner's insurance. So they pay directly to homeowner's insurance company, and that's taken care of. The reason why they started doing that is because people were losing their homes. They lost their home because they didn't pay taxes. So then they went to sheriff's sale, go to sheriff's sale, the tax sale, and it's sold on the steps. The mortgage company loses out as well as you. When it is, you didn't pay your homeowner's insurance, and let's say you in California and the wildfires came through, you lose out. Like the only thing you have left is the land. So, it's important to pay those things. And something that people don't understand, and I want to make sure you hear it here. Even, and I know I still feel funny about that, but even after you own the home and after you've paid off the home, let's say you don't have any mortgage, you will always, unless they change something, always continue to pay taxes and insurance. The insurance covers if the house still goes through an act of God, fire, burglary, it still covers your assets, even though there's not a mortgage on it. And then the taxes are so the city or the county doesn't sell your property for pennies on a dollar at a tax sale for their money. Even though there's not a mortgage company who needs to be protected, then you want to make sure you're protecting your asset also. But Rel, that was a great question. Again, guys, if you have any questions pertaining to home ownership, tap in with your boy. I did a home buying seminar yesterday. And it was 8 people, and all said that they hadn't purchased because they weren't educated enough. They felt, and then some people said for lack, educated lack of knowledge, and then some people say fear. So while there's a ton of information, you still need to make sure that you're prepared, and the only way to really start preparing is to take a step forward and say, okay, I'm going to apply for a mortgage so that I can see where I'm at so I can go to that next step. And a good mortgage professional, a good real estate agent will walk you through the process. The road is not always easy. I want you to hear that it's not always easy. It's a cumbersome, tedious process. However, I always say it's worth it in the end. If you're looking to buy in the fall, when would it be best to get on your calendar to look at moving forward to pre-approval? Well, good evening, Miss Erica. I would say get on my calendar ASAP. Um, so when you get on my calendar, at least you and I have a conversation about what you have going on. Like if you know what your credit is, do you have money for down payment and closing costs? Like, do you need a uh do you need help with the down payment and closing costs? Is what you're looking for realistic? If you tell me, hey Kevin, I'm looking to buy a $400,000 house, but let's say you make $50,000 a year, it's not going to happen, even if you don't have any debt. Or me giving you some tips on certain things to do to get prepared, and then we decide whether it makes sense to go to application now or to work on a few things. Yep, you're right. Do it now. I did it 3 months ago and just starting the buying process. So yeah, definitely, get on my calendar, see how I can help, you know, provide you, I think, with valuable information. So when I get on here and I talk to people or discuss the home ownership process, it's a broad stroke, right? Because I'm talking to many. But when I talk to you, I narrow it down because I'm talking to one. And your situation is totally different from, someone else's situation. Like I had a couple reach out to me. They felt like, they needed to do something in advance, and they did, right? So we talked, and they was like, hey, like, what do we need to do? And I was like, nothing. Like, you're prepared, but you don't know unless you try. They're not moving until the summer, but at least they know, hey, as long as we keep everything the way it is now and continue to save some money, we don't have to do anything to our credit. We don't have to pay anything down. We can qualify. We just got to be prepared for when we're ready to move. No problem, Miss Erica. Hey, what's going on, Jennifer? You do stay tuned in. Great information always. I'm working on a plan. Jennifer reached out to me. It's been a couple of months ago as well. I gave her a game plan, and she's putting things in action so she can get prepared to move. To become a homeowner. So yeah, definitely reach out if you want to discuss your individual plan with home ownership, the link to reach out to me will be below. Um, you know, my phone number scrolling across the screen. My email address will be there. If you just want to click on the calendar link and get on my calendar, you definitely can do that. But I'm pretty accessible. I love to see how I can help people. We can discuss whatever options you have, and we can kind of go from there. We can pull credit. We'll be able to see what you can do. And then worst case scenario, if you're not approved now, you walk away with a game plan on what to do so you'll be ready when time comes. So, Erica, let me give you some context of what the fall looks like. So, the fall, let's say we talk in September, right? And September, October. So, I would say if you feel like you're ready, like let's say we have a conversation this week and I say, okay, Erica, based off what you told me, it looks like you should go to application because you don't know a whole lot about your credit. So we're going to take a look at it and figure out what you do. So we pull credit, we look at assets and everything, and then we come to the conclusion of, hey, there's nothing for you to do but to be ready when it's the fall time. I would say while we're looking at the fall, I would say come back in June or July because June you get pre-approved. Let's say you start looking in July, you don't find anything until August. So you identify your house in August, you close in September, right? And then your first mortgage payment is due November. So while that seems like a long ways away in terms of time, you know, June gives you an opportunity to button up a few things. Okay, maybe save a few more coins as you go along. Um, Start condensing things and preparing. So it just gives you time to do things. And then if you schedule it, let's say your lease is up in October and you close in August and September, you don't have to move out that next day. It gives you an opportunity to figure out if figure out, okay, we're going to do some things to the house. So we have a little bit of time, or you can move out of the old house or apartment, move into the new one, and then prepare, clean to the other house so that you can get your deposit back. So it's a couple of different ways to do certain things. But right now, at least have a conversation with me. Doesn't cost. So if it's free, it's for me. Rel says, are there certain FHA requirements for repairs? We're going under contract, but understand the house needs a little TLC. Are there any repairs that must be done before we're able to close? So that's a great question. That's going to be determined based off of what the appraiser comes back with. So you have a home inspection. The home inspector will they'll break the home inspection down to what's considered major defects, major repairs, and minor repairs. And when you look at those, you're going to be more concerned with what's considered major repairs. How old is the roof? Electrical sockets, appliances, holes, and things of that. Let's say you go through your home inspection and the seller has decided they'll fix the repairs that you guys requested. Then there's the stages of the appraisal. An FHA appraisal has its own separate, what you call like an inspection slash checklist, right? The appraiser is looking to make sure there's no rotten wood, no peeling paint, no cracks in the window, no cracks in the foundation, no missing or cracked siding. The windows go up and down. There's locks on the window. Um, Make sure the roof is in not disrepair, but also make estimate on the life of the roof, right? So looking at all of those things, if there's something that needs to be done and it comes back on the appraisal as is condition, then that means you're good. If it comes back subject to and it says, hey, the electrical socket in the kitchen underneath the cabinets was not in working order, then you guys take that back to the seller and said, hey, this was on the appraisal. We need this item repaired. Safety items like that have to be done prior to closing, typically. And, we have to send someone out to reinspect that those things have been done. So, yes, there are repairs that need to be done before you can close on the house, but that's going to come from an appraiser or the home inspection. Typically, if the home inspector picks it up, the appraiser will as well if it's considered a major defect. So, Rel, hopefully that answers your question, my man. All right. So, we kind of going to reset the room. If you just joining and you didn't see the beginning, I had a friend of mine, Woodrow Haynes, on, who is an ADT representative, talking about the importance of having a monitored security system for your home. He's able to help you in all 50 states. I thought the first 10, 15 minutes that we talked was valuable information pertaining to home ownership and the importance of having security. Even if you're renting, he feels like you should have a security system so you can have a peace of mind, right? Um, we also, discussed him, pricing. We discussed what they offer, what type of systems they could potentially offer to you. So all of that goes together, in terms of protection and sense of security at home, right? And then earlier, after I finished talking to Woodrow, I talked about the wildfires in Los Angeles and just making sure you have the proper coverage on your home, making sure that you have what you need insured. I think every year you need to have a conversation with your insurance agent to ask them about your coverages that you have. And I actually want to preference something. I would call your local agent. I wouldn't call the 800 number, right? I would call your local agent, whoever you got your insurance through, and have that consultation with them to make sure you have all the right coverages. Things could have changed. Since you've been in the house, you could have put a new roof on. You could have changed something, new windows. You could have did something. You could have added an addition on. You just want to make sure you have your house fully covered so you don't run into a situation where you have to rebuild and you don't get enough money because you didn't have the right coverage. Also, I do again want to mention that if you have not joined the Facebook group, the link will be below to join our Facebook group. We have a newsletter that goes out at least 2 to 3 times a week, which I'm going to start bumping that up. You might see it 5 times a week. Sorry in advance, but I feel like it's information that we want to get out to our subscribers about home ownership, videos that are coming out, and things that could be very helpful to them as well. If you have questions pertaining to home ownership, drop them below. I did want to ask a couple questions. If you're out there listening, I need some feedback. What is holding you back from purchasing a home? Like, are you currently in the process of purchasing? Or in terms of, okay, I've spoken to someone, my lease is up in 6 months, I'm going to move forward then, or you're still in the gathering stage of information. There's a reason why you're here and listening to me. And I want to make sure that I give you the information I think you should have in terms of from a lender standpoint, but I also want to make sure I give you information that you need to help you make your decision, if that makes sense. So if you could do me a huge favor, if you're watching the replay and you're not watching us live right now, and there's something holding you back from purchasing a home, let me know what it is. Like, whether it's, you don't understand, you need more time, you don't think you could buy, your first generation person, you're waiting for the market to crash. You're waiting for rates to come down. You wait for more foreclosures to come out so you can buy a house for cheaper. You don't have the money. Whatever it may be, just comment below and we can figure out how we can solve it. I'm solution based. The goal is always to see how we can get that person into a home. And the crazy thing is, everybody's not the same. Everyone's situation is different. Erica's situation is different than Jennifer, which is different than Rel, which is different than Chanel, right? All of your situations are different, but each one of you guys have a path to home ownership. You're just getting there in a different direction. Our truck is continuing to go into the shop and slowing our money down. It's holding us back, but not giving up. I understand. On the home buying seminar I had yesterday, I said it. I said that. I said, whenever you're looking to make a major decision, life changing, life altering decision, something happens. Life happens, right? And it's a road, it's a speed bump, right? It slows you down a little bit, but keep going. When you're driving and you see a speed bump, you slow down and we just ride over it, right? We don't jump it, right? We just ride over it. And that's what you need to do. Life is going to happen, but you can continue to figure out, okay, how do we do it? Chanel, in your case, I totally understand because you guys are truckers, so you need your truck on the road in order to make money to get the home ownership. But I do think that you guys will get there. Just be encouraged and continue to move forward. And we'll see you at the closing table here sometime soon. Yeah, definitely don't give up. Don't give up. So we also earlier we also discussed the changing of the guards. We'll have a new presidential administration, and things are going to change from there. Uh, on the lighter side, like, people were mourning, TikTok, like the TikTok ban. Even my wife was like, "How am I gonna figure out what we're gonna cook for dinner?" Like, we get a lot of recipes from TikTok. That changed. They brought TikTok back in to play. It was down for like 12 hours, and they put it back into play. So, we'll see what other changes the administration makes to help along with the economy and home ownership. Let me see. As you know, I'm in prep mode trying to save a substantial amount of money. Credit score has jumped 80 points since contacting a few months ago, but the saving is challenging. Yeah, it is challenging. I paid what, $7, $8 today for 18 eggs, where they used to be 4, $5 a couple months ago. Um, things are continuing to increase in price. I know I've seen gas change, 40 cent, and go 40 cent higher. Like, everything is a little bit higher. So, Jennifer, one thing when I talk to clients, I ask them to do is to take a look at their deductions from their check. If saving a substantial amount of money is taxing for anybody, I would say speak to your tax preparer and speak to human resources and see what it is that you guys can do to maybe um, take less of a deduction so you get more of your check so you can save more. Another form of saving more would look like potentially adding more money to your 401k and then allow for your company to match it. And that's another form of saving money. So those are just little tricks. If you were at a former job, think hard. Maybe even call to see if you had a 401k when you were there. And, that could help. Like, I had a client, she was trying to figure out where she was going to get her closing costs from. and we did a three-way call, myself, her, and the realtor, and we just was like, hey, can you get a gift from a family member? Can you save on this? Are you able to cut back on that? Do you have a 401k at a past job that you don't remember? And she was like, I'm not sure. I think I did. I'm a check. And she did. Come to find out, she had enough money to take care of her, the additional portion of the closing costs that she was missing. Even though they took money out, she whatever she had left would help her get the closing costs, and they became homeowners. So just look at ways like that. See if you can get a gift. I've had people start selling stuff. They had yard sales. I mean, I had a guy, he sold his car. He said he had an extra car. He sold it. He said, if I need another one, I'll just get it after I purchase a home. But purchasing a home was more important to him. So, human beings are resourceful, very resourceful people. And when they have a goal in mind and they want to do something, they start to work at it. So, Jen, if there's anything, if you want to grab a call again and powwow on what you could do to save a substantial amount of money, let me know. But I'm here to help, solution based. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the largest purchase that we'll make. The most down, typically the most amount of debt that we'll make first is probably either a car or student loan debt. So in terms of creating debts, probably student loans. In terms of purchasing, it's probably a vehicle or car, vehicles. After that, purchasing a house. So you purchasing a home is going, I could never, when I was younger, someone buying a $500,000 house, I would think that would be a mansion, right? But now, a $500,000 house might be 4,000 square feet these days, depending on where you are, what part of the country you're in. Maybe a 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom, 3 bath, 2 car garage. Um, in places like Florida or California, New York, it's probably less than that in term, not less in price, but less of a house. Um, so it is a big daunting task, but you definitely can do it. Just gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep working at it. But I feel like you can do it. Say you might be eating tuna out of a can for 6 months, but it'll be worth it. Got you. I understand. I totally understand. 425 for a starter home, 2,300 square feet is wild. Right. Like, yeah. 425, man. That's almost a $500,000 that you're spending on a starter home. Um, so let's look at it from a different standpoint. If that's where you're at, congratulations. You have the ability to afford almost $1 million home. Do we want to pay that monthly payment for that amount? Probably not. Not even me. But at least you're in position to get started um, on your home ownership journey, and you use this. It can a few things. You can use this property to propel you to investment properties. You can use your new property as a stepping stone to the property that you want. You sell that property, you take the money that you get, the proceeds that you get from it, and put it as a down payment on your new property. So, it's playing Monopoly with real cash, right? So, it's a great opportunity, but housing prices they're different. They're different. Man, guys, it's almost been an hour. If you have any last questions that you want to ask me to pertain to home ownership, um, shoot, thoughts and feedback. Uh, one of the questions is, what do you think will come out of the new administration in housing? Do you think that we'll see some changes in housing because of the new administration? And this is not a political show. This is just what your thoughts are and concerns on housing with the new president coming in, as well as the economy. Um, I also, you know, I did a video on FHA and how they're looking to um, get rid of the lifelong sentence that you have for mortgage insurance if you put down less than 20%. It is a bill um, in play. So we'll see how that comes. As well as I did a video, and the links for these videos will be below. Um, I did a video on how you can get remove medical collections removed from your credit report, which could instantly give you 20 points to your credit score, and you don't have to pay them because you don't because they're not on your credit report. Does not mean you still no longer owe the bill. It just will no longer have a negative effect on your credit. So they did away with it affecting you being able to purchase, but now they've done away with it affecting your credit score. So if you got two medical bills on your credit report, in the next 60 to 90 days, they will be removed automatically, and you should see an increase in your credit score. Whether it's Vantage or FICO, you should see an increase, depending on how old the collections are. I think we may get lower rates but higher prices with the new administration. That could be well, man. That could be well. See, if rates drop, do you think that would push up demand? Sure. I think we'll see a huge jump in demand um, with lower rates. Um, so people are on the sidelines waiting for rates to drop. So like that's why housing inventory is staying on the market a little bit longer. That's why sales are stagnant and slow. Like in 2024, the least amount of homes sold since 1995. So in hindsight, it's one of the worst units and volume sales markets we've had in 30 years, 29 years at that time. So that's attributed to a lot. So kind of going back to the student loan, not student loans, but going back to the medical collections, they say that medical collections being removed and helping people gain 20 points on their score should put about 22,000 more people a year into the housing market. So that may be a stepping stone for someone. Hey, we got 20 points. These two medical collections are gone. Now we need to pay down on credit cards or earn more money, just figuring out how to become a homeowner. So that's going to push. But Rel, I think if we see lower rates, and they say if they get into the fives or 5.5, we'd probably see uh, another million people in the market. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of homes, man. Are you aware of any new grant programs coming out to help aspiring home buyers? Any federal programs? Nah. Like when the Trump administration was campaigning, they never mentioned anything pertaining to any type of federal grants. Um, so unless someone puts a bill in play, I don't think we'll see any type of federal grants. Now, if Vice President Harris had got in, she was speaking of it, but so was Joe Biden. And in his 4 years, he wasn't able to get any bills passed. So it'd be cool. But depending on where you're looking at, and I think you're still looking in Georgia, I mean, we still have programs. The problem is there's no free money. And that's the other thing. Like people think that um people think that there's free money, and it's not. Like the grants help you, but there's something attached to it. When I say there's something attached to it, there's either a time frame attached to it, an interest rate, or a cost. When I say time frame, maybe you need to stay in the house for X amount of years. Um, it just all depends. But if something new does come and is brewing, I'll be one of the first people to let you know. Again, guys, um, if you're watching the replay, make sure you watch from the beginning. If you join late, make sure you watch from the beginning and check out my Facebook group, my newsletter for my community. I discussed two books, a book on student loans and a guide to home ownership journal for you to journal. With that being said, if there's no more questions, I'm Kevin Jefferson, the People's Lender. Have a great day. Good night, guys.